So for training this evening, we're going to talk about benefit selling. Now, we talked about, the GPS selling system. We talked about qualifiers and tie downs. We've talked about personal borrowed story, 15-second commercials. We talked about how to build a large organization, how to build a powerful organization, how to build wide, how to build deep. Quite a bit of training has been gone over on the Tuesday night calls. And tonight, I just wanted to talk about the benefits of benefit selling, the power that is behind benefit selling. And really what you're doing through benefit selling is engaging, educating, and enabling your clients. And what you're truly trying to do is create win-win situations for your clients. I think all too often as salespeople, we become too wrapped up in our dialogue. We become too wrapped up in our needs, our wants for how a particular situation should turn out. And I think we forget many times that if we are going to do the best possible job that we can, that we are going to serve our clients. That doesn't mean that we just roll over and that we don't have any direction or polish or agenda or format that we follow, or as we know, a sales track that we follow. But what that does mean is advocating the client, trying to remove as many barriers for the client as possible while going through the process with the client. So when you engage your clients, what you're really talking about with engagement is what to say and how to say it. If you're building a team or you are brand new into this, if you're building a team, you should be educating your people on what to say and how to say it. And if you go to your agent back office and you go to the news section, you can actually type in categories like whom do I start with, qualifiers and tie downs, 15-second commercial, personal and borrowed story. There's a great library in your news section of training lessons, and some of those lessons teach you exactly what to say and how to say it to a client. Can you say too much in this business? Absolutely. You can talk yourself right out of a sale in this business. So being concise, being to the point, showing some degree of brevity in what you say is important, but the most important thing is that it comes across natural. It comes across organic. It doesn't come across as a script. So if you hear things on these training calls and you think to yourself, man, that doesn't sound like me, see how you could take that same concept, that same thought, and reword it so it does sound like you. And try it out on, if you're married, try it out on your wife. If you have kids, try it out on your kids. See how it sounds to them. Try it out on friends. That was something that always bugged me was people said, Mac, if you really want to get better at what you do, then you need to role play. And role play to me always seemed so ridiculous. But once I finally broke that thought or that feeling that role play was ridiculous, and I found some people that role playing was really solid with, I found what a true asset role playing was to inviting people into your world, into your situation, into your process, and allowing them to give you constructive criticism on your current situation. The only way that we truly improve is surrounding ourselves with people of a different mindset, because they give us a different perspective. They give us a different way of looking at a situation. When you educate people, this goes back to the old idea. I mean, it's biblical. We talk about the idea of, do I give you a fish or do I teach you how to fish? Which is better for you? And we all know that education is power, that educating someone how to fish is much better than just giving them a fish. Educating a person how to go out and get a job, educating a person how a program operates, educating a person how the world operates, how sales operates, how we interact with individuals, how we develop good communicative skills within our frame and within our field and our sphere of influence. We should be constantly trying to improve. I remember John said this to me a long time ago. He just said, Mac, can I? And I was like, what in the world is can I? It's not really a word, but to John, what it means is constant, never-ending improvement. And to me, that's where we should be, not just in this business, but in the way we go about life. We should always be a student and a teacher. When you educate your client, you're educating them not only about the product, but I think we can get sidetracked and educate too deeply about the product, the facts, the figures, the numbers, the mathematics, the mechanics behind it. I think we can go too far with clients. Remember that the client does not need to know everything that the seller knows. They just need enough information to make an informed decision. And what I'm going to show you tonight is there's a way that you can move away from the constraints of all the mechanics and the complication and make this more about the experience, make it more about the interaction with the client. So in your sales sequence, as we know through the GPS selling system, there is an information flow. We know that there's throughout that entire process, when you're talking to the client, from the beginning of the introduction to getting the information on the analysis to going back for your second appointment and doing the analysis with the client and showing them the results of that analysis and closing the sale, that there's a lot of intricate pieces, but all along the way throughout that process, we are creating agreements. We're little closes. If I could, would you? If I could do this, would you do this? If I could do this, would you do this? You know, you tell me that this is what you are truly concentrating on. You know, enable. Listen to what it is that they're saying and match the benefit, what they're saying, what they truly want. What are they looking for? Not what are you looking for, not that this is a great debt elimination software. This is literally, what do you want out of it, Mr. Customer? What is the thing that attracted you about this? What is the kick point for you? Is it getting out of debt? Is it the fact of not spending all that additional money and interest and sending it to the bank and helping to use that money to create wealth and build your portfolio so you can retire with dignity? Center in on what the client wants. Take your agenda off the table. Your agenda is not what matters in this equation. Your sequence of events, your duplicatable process, this matters. But making it organic and making it relatable to the client, that is what truly is going to matter to the client. And you putting it back on the client, what are you trying to get out of this? What would be a good outcome for you? All right, so something that I hear a lot of people talk about, a lot of agents talk about is clients get in what we call the money trance. And what the money trance is, they, for some reason or another, they just can't seem to get their mind over the cost of the product. And the reality is this: we can talk about the money trance all day long. But there's two things I want to let you know. Number one, if you didn't set the sale up correctly and really show them benefit and value, what we're talking about this evening, every step of the way, price is going to be an issue when you come down to price, when you come down to the end to closing. I found for myself, even at the time when I was doing it, when we didn't do online, whatever, the price was never an issue. I couldn't even show people the product. I just explained the product so well over the telephone. I had them physically get out pencil and paper, and I would say, write this down, write this down, write this down, because there is a connection between what we think and what we write down. It becomes reality when we write it down. And so presentation of product, the way you interact with the client, what you get them to do for you, the little steps of commitment that you get them to take, and writing things down is a big piece of that. If you have not incorporated write this down into your closing strategy, do. I even, when we're doing the review that is the slideshow, no, we have it on the slideshow, but I've even said to clients, write this down. Do you see that on site? Write that down. That's yours. That's what this will do. Write that down. That's yours. That's what this will do for you. Okay? So ask the client. Be intentional with them. Ask them the harder questions. Open that broader conversation. What do you really want? Who do you want to attract, and how can you serve them? What type of people do you want to bring into your business? What type of customers do you want to bring to this product? Ask the client directly, what do you want out of the product? How do you want to have this product come to bear for you? Appeal to emotions. Be a storyteller. You know, that's it. I had a friend of mine. They had credit card debt. They had car debt. They had some student loans. They had their mortgage. Just been married. Had 2 kids right out of the gate. I mean, these were people that were swallowing up in debt. Now, they weren't spending more money than they make, but they weren't making a lot of headway. They had about $150, $200 left over at the end of the month that they could kind of play around with after paying all their bills, and I introduced them to a program, and they had $485,000 worth of total debt. And they had at least 28 to 29 years left to go to pay on that debt. And I showed them a program that's going to have them debt-free in 11.7 years, and it's going to save them over $292,000 of interest. It's the most exciting thing that I've ever seen. And let me tell you about my own personal story. Be a storyteller. Get people engaged and involved in the story of success. Offer options and hope. Show them the light at the end of the tunnel. Look, I've played the debt game. I was in a bad debt situation. I was faced with 29 years. I was faced with almost living paycheck to paycheck, not putting the money away. But by adopting this program into my life, the Money Max account program, my house, and this is a true story, my house will be paid off this year, finally. My house will be paid off. All of my cars are paid off. I have no credit card debt. I have an equity line of credit where I have money available, but I have no balance on it right now. I'm waiting to do a funds transfer utilizing the program. But by the end of 2021, I will have 100% paid off all of my debt. And what is my intention at that point? Well, for me, it's going to be to try to buy a vacation property or another piece of property so that I have my main place that I live in, the place that I want to vacation. Now, that's a reality for me. And people, many of you that have met me and know me, know I don't make $1 million a year. There are people in the field that make more money than me, and that doesn't bother me. I'm just trying to let you know that me getting out of debt and being debt-free, that's real, and that's a reality to me. And that means a lot to me, because just in my life, I don't like the idea of debt. I don't like the idea of being beholden to somebody. I don't like the idea that I have to stroke that check and send it to somebody else for the house that I'm living in. I don't like the fact that I've paid double for my house when it comes down to the interest on top of what my home was worth, and a little bit better than double. So for me, it's personally invigorating. For me, there's a commitment. There is a conviction that I know that this product works, and I know that it's the right thing. And that's why I've been with this company going on 20 years. At the end of this year, it'll be 20 years that I've been with these guys. And I've stayed with this company because I truly believe in the message, and I truly believe that the product can do exactly what we say. And it does offer hope. It does offer a light at the end of the tunnel, and set a good example. Clear your own money trance. And what that means is people get so caught up in this idea of, do I have enough money or will I make enough money? How you think about money has a lot to do with how successful you will be with money. If we view money as just another thing we need to survive, like water and air, I want to ask you something. Do you believe that tomorrow morning you will have enough water and enough air to survive? And most people would say, yes, I do. Well, then why would we be so worried if we'll have enough money? If you get out there and work, if you get out there and do a good job, if you get out there and you devote yourself, money is just another thing that we need to get by. There's an old proverb that talks about viewing money like water in a dam, and it starts by asking the question, why does a beaver leave a spill hole in his dam? And that's so the water keeps flowing through. The water continually flows through, and what does that do? That keeps the water from getting stagnant. And when water gets stagnant or gets hoarded, it's no longer of any use. It kills the ecosystem. You can't drain it. It becomes poison water. Well, the same idea with money, that money must continue to flow. If you constrict your generosity, if you hoard your money, that's all you will ever have, and you will stop your success. You will not see the type of success and prosperity and fluidity in your life that you could see if you just open the spill gate and realize, look, money is something that's going to come and go, and money is something that needs to constantly flow, and I can't stagnate it, and I can't hoard it up, and I need to be generous with it, and I need to be generous with people, and it will pay you back. And the money will come, and the money will continue to come. One of the most dangerous mindsets that so many people in America have today is, I need to hold on to this $30,000 that I have in the bank. Yeah, I have $485,000 worth of debt, but I better hold on to this $30,000 I have in the bank in case something happens. Well, if something happens, that 30,000 ain't going to do you anything. It's got you in that mindset that I need to keep this money. I need to hoard this money. Open the spill gate. Live a life of abundance and prosperity. And believe in it, and believe in your ability to have that abundance and that prosperity in your life. Key components that you need in benefit selling is transparency, be down to earth, service focus. What do they want, and not what you want? What is on their agenda? What is the most important to them, not what is most important to you? Translate features and identify possible benefits for each target group. What's in it for them? In each client that you're dealing with, find out the hit points. What's in it for them? That's something else John Mushanky used to say, with them. What's in it for me? Well, clients want to know what's in it for them. And if you do a story and you know, they said we hate spending all this money, you know, let me tell you, what if I could, you know, show you how to put, you know, $50,000, $60,000 of interest back in your pocket? What if I could decrease your debt by 5 or 10 years? Would you be willing to? If I could, would you? Show them the benefits. Build each presentation to the client, to what they told you, was important to them. Assign the meaning and create the story. What is so great about it? What is so great about getting you out of debt? Why is that so important to you? You have kids coming up that are going to be going into college, and you're trying to come up with the money to fund their college, or are you coming near the age where you want to retire and you're wondering where the money's going to come for retirement, or you've always wanted that vacation home, or you need the repairs to the car and the house and everything else, and you don't know where the money's going to come from? Why is this so important to you? Why is this such a need? If you identify for the client, I will tell you this, the client will sell themselves. Ask them rather than tell them. Discover questions with them. Ask them probing questions. What do you truly want out of this? Why do you want it, and how do you plan to get it? If you're telling me you really want to get out of debt and you want to stop, what plan do you have in place right now? If you're telling me you're just tired of spending all that additional money in interest, you're tired of supporting the banks with all that additional money, what are you planning to do about it? What plan do you have in place now? Ask them these questions, because you have a plan that you can put in place for them. Engage your prospects. Let's learn about our language. What is out and what is in? Out, leading with mortgage. Do you have a mortgage? That's narrow. That's not casting a broad enough net. Money management tool. That's wide. That's a great way to explain what we do. Saving money. A lot of people want to save money, but does that really sound exciting to them? No. Keep money and put it to work. Keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket and put it to work for you, rather than just saving money. Debt-free? Yeah, a lot of people like to be debt-free, but when they hear that, all they think about is how hard is it going to be debt-free. But now financial freedom, that can involve a good portfolio, that can involve investments, and that can also involve debt freedom, much wider, much more in. Too much info. We have the capacity, especially agents, once they start learning about this product, they listen to a couple Money Max account presentations, a couple of the videos, they sit down in front of a client and they try to all of that information on the client, and it's just too much information. And when it's too much information, that information sounds scattered. It doesn't sound like it's in sequence. It doesn't create a logic stream. It's almost just like word regurgitation. And you know the other word for that. Don't regurgitate on your clients everything that you know. You need to build that presentation and give them information based on what they have told you is important to them. Lead them through the sale and the info in sequenced properly. In other words, follow your process. It's something I see all too often, and especially with friends and family. You're trying to tell them about the product, or you're trying to get them involved, and they're like, hey, look, you don't need to give me your whole sales pitch. Just tell me what it does. Well, I'm telling you right now, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you do that, because you don't want to do that with the client, especially friends and family. You want to take them through the process, because the process dots the I's, crosses the T's, and gives them the best opportunity to understand the information. A cookie cutter approach never works. I've tried it years. I mean, there are some duplicatable systems, but what's in it for them, audience specific, is much more effective than just spitting out the information of how much money you're going to save in time. Build the story around it. So many people want to be mechanics driven. You know, it deals with arbitrage, and it deals with interest float and interest cancellation. Build them the story of how much money they're going to save and how that money is going to go to work for them, and you've got them benefits driven selling. That's what we're talking about this evening. It's hard to duplicate. Doing it what's on the inside is very easy to duplicate, and that's what we promote as a system. What we're talking about here is system and your personality versus a bunch of detailed information that the client is probably not going to pick up anyway. I want you to cast a broad net in your introduction, create openings. I help people just like you keep more of their hard-earned money and put it to work for you. I've found a service that is helping me. I really value your opinion. I would really like to get your eyes on this. I'd like you to take a look at this. I've learned a few new things about banking. I've learned how to make banking work for me. I've learned how to bank like a bank. Are any of these items that would come out of your mouth talking to another client, or any of these items that would sound enticing to the client? And you can back all of these up with, would you like to know more? Would you like to find out more? Would you be willing to take some time with me so I can show you how to bank like a bank? Would you be willing to take some time for me so I could share some of these new techniques I've learned in banking? I've learned some secrets in banking that the banking industry does not teach you. I have learned some secrets in the banking industry on how banking operates, how I can take advantage, how I can capitalize on today's banking that lending institutions and banks do not teach you. You're creating a story. You're bringing them in. You're inviting them. You want them to be curious. So in the education out and in, software program, too limited. Don't talk about software. People think they buy it over counter, and it should cost them $99, and it should be something like Adobe. This is much more sophisticated than this. Money management solution. Much more broad net. Mechanics-driven detailed explanation. We know it doesn't work. Demonstrate the benefits and create value. Go to a demo. Load their information, or just go to a demo and show them how it operates. Or go into what it was they were trying to accomplish and show them how the program can help them accomplish that and create that value for you. Looking under the hood, too complicated for a lot of people, but take a test drive, experience it, the demonstration. That's a lot easier than trying to explain it to them. Doing something to them rather than doing something for them. I want you to really think about this. When you make it all detailed and you make it all service-oriented and all this nonsense that they have to do on their side, you're making it more like it's something you're going to do to them than something that you're doing for them. Closing at the end of every situation? No. Creating agreements throughout the process, little micro closes throughout the whole time, so it doesn't really sound like a close at the end. It almost sounds matter of fact. You're going to save $294,000 in future interest. You're going to save 14.9 years of monthly payments. Do you want to start receiving your savings today? Do you want to stop giving all that money to the bank today? Telling them rather than engaging them, what do they want? How can they make it? And how can you make sure that they get it? You become their advocate instead of their salesperson. Educate and enable combined. Assign the meaning. Paint the picture. Tell the story. Connect the dots for them between what they're trying to achieve, between our program, between the story and the light at the end of the tunnel. Use analysis and demo to present solutions. The demo, you can show different solutions with money movement and how it operates and how interest is calculated. And with the analysis, you're showing them the solutions to their end goal, which is getting out of debt, creating wealth. Focus on what they want and keep the rest in your back pocket. What do I mean by that? Don't tell them everything you know. Don't tell them every closing technique. Don't give them every sales option. Focus on what they want and build that presentation around what they want, and keep all of those other bullets in your back pocket in case you just need them, in case they bring up a question you didn't anticipate. Always keep your bullets. It's like holding your cards and not showing every card that you have, because many times, especially in this, showing every card you had can be very confusing to the client. Create agreements throughout the process. If you could, would you? That's the best way to create agreements. If I could, would you? Can you see how this would move you towards financial freedom? Can you see how what we're setting up here for you would be beneficial to you financially? Is there anything else standing in the way of you moving forward? You're moving them through the process, and you're asking them the questions as they go. And so it's service focused, and they can feel that you are concentrating on what is in their best interest and how well this is going to flow to them in order to achieve their end goals and their desires. So what enabled creating wins? What's out? Struggling with sales. That's out. You shouldn't be in that position anymore. You need a mentor and a trainer, and that's why we have certified trainers. Marketplace conditions, we see so many people, how much of the marketplace is out there? What's going on with this and what's going on? No. Focus on intention. Focus that you want to help them. Don't worry about the market situation when you're talking to the client at this point. They bring it up, do a little bit of research, talk to them about it after the fact. Focus on intention. Winging it, that just doesn't do it with this program. Systematic and duplicatable, and we have that system in place. Recruit to sell or sell to recruit. We've talked about this many times. Running two tracks, sales and recruiting. You're looking at retail and recruiting. MLM terminology, many people use it. You know, I have an opportunity I'd like you to see. I'm not a big fan of MLM terminology. I like the agency approach, the idea that we pay out just like insurance agencies, that you can build a team like an insurance agency. And I love telling people this, since we do not have an auto ship, we are not a conventional, what you would call MLM. Last thing I want to lead with, and I want to leave you with, is certified trainers and three-way calls. Never underestimate, provide third-party validation. It takes the pressure off of a new agent with three-way calls and the CFTs. It's a new voice from what they've been hearing from the agent that initiated. Act as mentors and coaches for new agents, and I truly believe everyone should be a teacher and a student. And where I'm going to leave you this evening is, I say this to myself, but I want to put it to you. You can resist or struggle against what is, and thus you can prolong it. You can prolong that, whatever it is that's happening, or you can focus on what you really want, live it, and be it. Own it. Feel that you already have it, and walk and act and conduct yourself as though you already own it. If it is to be, if it's up to me, I am the one in charge. Nothing outside of me is doing anything to me. I am attracting it all through my focus. My success will be my success, and I want that for every single one of you on this call tonight. I want your success to be our success, and our success to be your success. I want you to get out there. I want you to be communicative with individuals. I want you to be social. I want your conversations to be organic. You know, and people asked me this for years and said, Mac, you know, you did the original test market on this back in the day, back in 2005, 2006. You weren't able to show people the product. You did it over the phone. What was the secret to your success? And I say it's two things. One was I was just very tenacious, and I wanted it really bad. So I was going to find a way to figure it out. But number two, it was three simple words. With the client, have a conversation. Just have a conversation and find out what they need, and find a way to loop this back into them. I want to thank everybody for joining us for the agent update and training call. I want to thank everybody for the hard work that you're doing in the field. We're very proud of each and every one of you. Let's get out there and do it big. Let's get out there and do it right. But at the very least, let's get out there and do it right now. This is Max Saunders saying bye-bye for now.